see if we can get some service in this thing. Okay, I'm back, y'all, in Divinely Grateful Risings. How are y'all doing today? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome, 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 y'all, to a word in the wilderness. A word in the wilderness, Bible Clarity Challenge Day 15. Bible Clarity Challenge Day 15. I hope you're doing well. Message. I hope that everything, what? Who's behind the mask, child? Some of y'all might be finding out who's behind the mask, baby. We not finna chat because y'all already know I can keep going with these readings. I felt tapped in anyway. That's not what we're here for. We are here for Bible Clarity Challenge Day number 15. We are on Genesis chapter 28 and 29 today. So I hope y'all are doing well. I hope that today has been fantastic for you. Um, I had something I was supposed to share with y'all, didn't it? I forgot because I started recording and then, child, I didn't forgot everything else that I had going on there for a second. Oh, okay, but I do have a couple of updates, so let me tell y'all about that. Because some things are changing. Some things are changing. Okay, come on, signs and synchronicities. So this is Bible Clarity Challenge Day number 15, y'all. Once again, we're doing Genesis chapter 28 and 29. But let me tell y'all what's happening. So some of y'all, I know y'all was looking for me on for this morning's message, but I'm just keeping the buckles with y'all. Padre God said no. He said no. Daddy was like, no, we're not going live this morning. So we're getting ready to see. I told y'all there may be some changes. This, like, the Bible Clarity may have to move up like an hour instead of being at 5 p.m. We may end up doing it at 4 p.m. But I'm trying to leave it right now just so I can let y'all know. But I might just be doing it at 4 p.m. And we're gonna see what happens. This morning, I was tired, y'all. I was tired, and it was weird because I was up. Like, he woke me up this morning, and me and him just had a talk. We were just talking, and it's time to shift. It's time to pivot, and I felt it. And so I was up early. I was up about 2 something this morning, just talking to the Lord, and just kind of asking him about next steps. And so, just being real with y'all, like, I love this morning's message. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love doing this morning's message. I think, and y'all know how much I love it, but I also know when it's time to pivot. I know when it's time to pivot and when God is asking me to do something differently. And so at first I was like, okay, well, I'll just do Bible study in the morning before I do this morning's message. But he was like, no, that's not what I want. I say, okay. So basically he was like, don't go live this morning because he's showing me like a different, like, my schedule's changing up. Message, come on, decision that affects you. And so my schedule's changing up. So today, y'all, I did everything in reverse from what I normally do. Daddy said don't go live, so I didn't go live. So I kind of just rested and relaxed for a little bit, got myself together, spent some time with the Lord, and then it was like, okay, he was like, you ready? And I was like, yeah. And so got up, you know what I'm saying, got myself together. I recorded the messages that I needed to record for today, which were cray-crayness. OMG. Listen, y'all, I don't know what's going on, child, but it's like some crazy stuff going on in the spirituals. And so I recorded the messages I needed to record. Then after I was done with that, I was actually able to go, like, I took a walk. I walked a couple miles and came back and still had some time. And I was just like, man, this day feels so much better than what I have been doing. So I'm just letting y'all know that effective now, okay, because Patrick God said so. I'm going to be switching up my routine, so I won't be doing this morning's message this week. However, I will still be on here for Bible Clarity, okay, for the challenge. I will be live every evening. I'm going to see how I feel because, oh, that's so pretty, because we be losing the sunlight. We be losing the sunlight at 5 o'clock. I may end up having to cheat to, like, move it up an hour, move it to 4 p.m. It's been a day of revelation, y'all. Like, God is showing me so many things, and I ain't gonna lie, if you got Leo in your chart, baby, you might need to go watch the Leo reading, cause baby Padre God, he had got a little stern in him spirituals. He did. He had went off just a little bit, not a lot of bit, a little bit, but just FYI. True story, y'all. He wants me focused on the word in the wilderness, and I'm not mad. I really am not mad about it. I still got up. I still put the messages out that he wanted me to give. And I love this morning's message, but when he wanted me to do something different, guess what? I'm gonna do something different. And so I said, okay, so we're gonna see how it goes. So yeah, so I'll still be putting out messages, but and it may be pending. I may end up doing some messages after this, but we're gonna see what happens. I mean, I'm giving like 6 messages a day, so it ain't really a whole lot of difference between me doing this morning's message and what I'm already doing. I'm still getting the messages out that the Lord needs people to receive. So look, my crown chakras just started tingling. So anyway, so for those of y'all who were looking for me on this morning's message, God's doing a new thing. God's doing a new thing. Come on, 555. So that's the first thing to let y'all know, is that this week I'm just like, I'm look at the spider. Mm-hmm. Come on, 413. I'm not going to be on for this morning's message, okay, but I will be on for a word in the wilderness, okay. So just FYI for that. What else was it I had to talk about? Oh my gosh, y'all, the other thing, let me just tell y'all, when God tell you, because y'all know I just be like, well, Daddy, what you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? Like that would be my, I don't know what you want to do. And so not only was I able to get the messages out that I needed to record, I was also able to start working on the new ClariTEA Tarot deck and the tarot deck that's getting ready to come out. So the ClariTEA is real. That's the seventh volume, y'all. Like God just been dropping things into my spirit. And when he tells me to move, when he tells me to do, he's been giving me just like, I'm like, okay. And it's like it's almost like this morning I was just in the flow, and that's why I'm like cranking these cards out so fast, y'all, because when the Lord puts it in my spirituals, it's like literally I sit down and it's just like boom, and then it's done, and then I'm like, how did this happen so fast? And so I'm excited. So volume 7 is almost complete. I'm getting ready to put that on the way on my Etsy, in my Etsy shop. And then he was like, and it was crazy because volume 8 is, of course, all of them dedicated to the Lord, but volume 8 is going to be the first tarot deck, the actual tarot deck that I'm going to be doing. So come on, spirit animal, come on, the prayer of Jabez, come on, divine alignment. Matthew 5 and 14. I can't make it up, y'all. Look, 3 of them came back to back. Them dolphins been out there all day. The prayer of Jabez. Oh, that you would bless me and enlarge my territory. Okay, let your hand be with me and keep me from harm so that I will be free from pain. Matthew 6 and 33. Seek ye first the kingdom of righteousness and seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Matthew 5 and 5:14 through 16. You are the light of the world, like a city on a hilltop that cannot be hidden. No one lights a lamp and puts it under a basket. Instead, a lamp is placed on a stand where it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your good deeds shine out for all to see, so that everyone will praise your heavenly Father. Okay, so just saying, y'all, God is doing a new thing, and I receive it. I receive it. Hello, dearest one. Y'all make sure y'all like the live, share the love. Y'all, I'm so excited. I feel like I'm in, like, I don't know. You know, I kind of be downtime on the weekend, so I really be chilling then. But it's like when Monday come, even though I still be working on the weekends, it still just be like, okay, it's go time. So I don't know if y'all feel that or if y'all feel that energy. I ain't gonna lie, one of the things Patrick God was telling me about today, he was like, "Child, you had to fight through some spiritual warfare." I say, I'm sick of. Spell it SICKUD. Sick of. I'm sick of it. Okay. I'm sick of it. Baby, y'all need to leave me alone. Go find somebody else, Lord. Go find somebody else. Anyway, I'm back. I said, go find somebody else to mess with y'all. Y'all's getting on my nervous system. Anyway, but it was fine. It didn't stop anything. I was grateful for this morning. I started not to go. Well, part of why I didn't go live too, y'all, I had forgot it was a holiday. Happy MLK Day to everybody. Happy MLK Day to everyone. So that was I was like, well, child, let me let people enjoy their little holiday and stuff. So that was another reason I wasn't really tripping about not doing this morning's message. I had to have a real talk with myself. I was like, Daddy, I was like, I love this morning's message. He was like, okay, we'll do it. And I was like, but I like going live in the evening. Say, okay, we'll do it. I'm like, well, Dad, what you want me to do? He said, I want you to choose because whichever one you choose is going to be just fine. And I was like, OMG. So he wouldn't even tell me nothing. He was like, oh my gosh, I'm just connecting that dot. He said that, you know what? I love the Lord. Because in the Leo reading, I just got done watching it actually. In the Leo reading, it literally was the crossroads that was at the center of the reading. And it was like literally whichever page. Oh my gosh. And that's why you wouldn't tell me. My goodness. Thank you, Lord. That's why he wouldn't give me an answer. Because like you can do whichever one you want to do. They're both gonna be blessed. I received that. But I think I want to try something different. And so because of that, I'm going to do something a little different. So I'm going to center what I'm doing around a word in the wilderness for a little while and see what happens with that. See how I feel about that. Cuz true story, like I was walking today and just talking to the Lord and I was just like, Daddy, I was like, I really just want to see. I was like, I don't know. I feel like I need to see where he wants to take a word in the wilderness. I love this morning's message, but I literally have been doing it for a year. It's been a year. And so I'm just like, okay. I was like, I'm ready to try something different. So we're gonna see what a word in the wilderness is gonna be about. And of course, whatever it is, it's gonna be centered around the Lord. So it don't really matter. But making changes. Why? Because we can. So he's literally told me, and that was confirmation for me. Did I watch all the, I don't know, y'all. Leo reading was crazy too, man. Like I had to restart it 3 times. It was like resistance. It was just like resistance. And I just could not seem to get that reading going. And finally on that third time, Patrick Goss came through and said, I am the final word. I am the word. I said, oh, I said, Daddy, who are you talking to, Lord? Who you talking to, child? He had put a little look. I can't make this up. I cannot make this up. Look, resistance. I'm telling y'all. It's a no for me. I was meeting resistance trying to get them readings done. I had to start over 3 times, and I was just like, something is going on. So he came put a little bass in him spirituals, and I was just like, okay. So I let that go. Oh, let's do it. Success, right? So the last one was successful. So I'm grateful for that. Um, that's it. We finna get started. Okay. Child, he had to put a little bass in him spirituals. And did. He had to put a little bass in him spirituals. Like, you can see it. If you watch the Leo reading, child, he did. He put a little bass in him spirituals. I say, okay. Okay. I just be like, okay, daddy. So he had said what him said. So anyway, that's it. What are we doing today? Genesis chapter 28 and 29. What color highlighter am I going to use today? Y'all know I'll be highlighting as I go. Where's my pink highlighter at, Lord? Well, we don't have that. Hopefully I'll be able to read this because what? I got the contact lenses in. So y'all work with your girl. Okay. You're going to have to work with me and trying to read this. Let me get some additional light. Yeah, that ain't going to work. We gonna thug it out. I think I can make it. Genesis 28:29. Y'all make sure y'all like the live, share the love. Yesterday, yeah, not yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, child seemed like we was just on here 5 minutes ago. Hello, dearest one. Hello, dearest one. Hello. Child, it was so much that had happened. We talked about yesterday, Jacob stealing Esau's blessing. Isaac deceived Abimelech. Child, it was just so much going on yesterday. It really was. But we got through it. So we finna see 28 is a continuation of what was of Jacob when he's fleeing from Padam Aram. I probably need to back up a step and start from there. It just talk about Rebecca. Rebecca said she ended with saying, I'm sick and tired of these local Hittite women. I would rather die than see Jacob marry one of them. Child, don't be wishing that in your energy, okay? But anyway, So we finished our Genesis chapter 28. Let's do it. Let's get to it. Here we go. Here we go. So Isaac called for Jacob, blessed him, and said, "You must not marry any of these Canaanite women. Instead, go at once to Paddan Aram, to the house of your grandfather Bethuel, and marry one of your uncle Laban's daughters. May God Almighty bless you and give you many children. And may your descendants multiply and become many nations. May God pass on to you and your descendants the blessings he promised to Abraham. May you own this land where you are now living as a foreigner, for God gave this land to Abraham." So Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Paddan Aram to stay with his uncle Laban, his mother's brother, the son of Bethuel the Aramean. Esau knew that his father Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him to Paddan Aram to find his wife, to find a wife, and that he had warned Jacob, "You must not marry a Canaanite woman." He also knew that Jacob had obeyed his parents and gone to Paddan Aram. It was now very clear to Esau that his father did not like the local Canaanite women. So Esau visited his uncle Ishmael's family and married one of Ishmael's daughters. In addition to the wives he already had, his new wife was named Mahalath. I don't know. She was the sister of Naboeth, I don't know, and the daughter of Ishmael. My gosh, Abraham's son. Okay. Jacob's dream at Bethel. Oh, what's this? Okay, come on. Meanwhile, Jacob left Beersheba and traveled toward Haran. At sundown, he arrived at a good place to set up camp and stopped there for the night. Jacob found a stone to rest his head against and lay down to sleep. As he slept, he dreamed of a stairway that reached from the earth up to heaven. And he saw the angel of God going up, the angels of God going up. Hold on. That's why ain't no light, Lord, going up and down the stairway. At the top of the stairway stood the Lord, and he said, "I am the Lord, the God of your grandfather Abraham, and the God of your father Isaac. The ground you are lying on belongs to you. I am giving it to you and your descendants. Your descendants will be as numerous as the dust of the earth. They will spread out in all directions, to the west and the east, to the north and the south. And all the families of the earth will be blessed through you and your descendants. What's more, I am with you, period. I will protect you wherever you go. One day, I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I have finished giving you everything I have promised you." Then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I wasn't even aware of it." But he was also afraid and said, "What an awesome place this is! It is none other than the house of God, the very gateway to heaven." The next morning, Jacob got up very early. He took the stone he had rested his head against, and he set it upright as a memorial pillar. Then he poured olive oil over it. He named the place Bethel, which means house of God, although it was previously called Luz. Then Jacob made this vow: "If God will indeed be with me and protect me on this journey, and if he will provide me with food and clothing, and if I return safely to my father's home, then the Lord will certainly be my God. And this memorial pillar I have set up will become a place for worshiping God, and I will present to God a tenth of everything he gives me." Come on, tithes. And that is Genesis chapter 28. Okay, so God appeared to him in a dream. Y'all, I've been having some weird dreams, child. I ain't lying. I've been having, it wasn't no stairway to heaven. Come on, that's the name of that song. Stairway to heaven. I don't sing, but y'all heard them bars. Y'all heard it. Okay. So then he said, "I'm gonna give him a." So once again, so that's it, reintroducing. Where else did somebody? Jacob, not Jacob, Abraham. Wasn't it Abraham that had got blessed? And then he gave a tenth of everything he had to Melchizedek. Okay, so important on this. The Lord continues to appear to Jacob, right? Isaac blessed them, the Lord. So even though he did wrong, message. Come on, prayer is answered. We receive it. Even though he did wrong, the Lord still showed up for him, child. Still showed up, still blessed him, still told him, like, I will be with you. I'm telling you, man, one thing about the Lord, he ain't gonna leave you nor forsake you. He is not gonna leave you. He ain't gonna leave you hungry. He ain't gonna leave you thirsty. You may not have everything you want, but you're gonna have everything that you need. Okay, you will have everything that you need. And I feel like one of the most important things that's even coming through with this, y'all, God continues to show up even when they do wrong, even when, they don't know what they're doing. He continues to show up and say, listen, I got your six, like I'm with you. Okay, so you don't have to worry. They done sinned, they fighting. They did wrongdoing, but he is not a man that he should lie. So if he promised Abraham, even though Jacob did wrong, even though Isaac did wrong, he got to do what he said he's going to do. Come on, personal revelation. And so I feel like that's one of the key things to take away from even everything we've read up to this point. It's like, look, we can do wrong. We don't always make the right decisions, but God is still going to show up and be like, I'm still rocking with you, but he'll get us back in alignment. You know what I'm saying? He's still going to be with us no matter what we're going through, but we still want to choose to do the right things. Okay, we still want to choose to do the right things. um then we have Bethel that's introduced as well. Okay, let's go to Jacob arrives at Padan Aram, for I don't be able to see. Then Jacob hurried on, finally arriving in the land of the east. He saw a well in the distance. Lord, Lord, y'all be having some trouble with these wells. Three flocks of sheep and goats lay in an open field beside it, waiting to be watered, but a heavy stone covered the mouth of the well. It was the custom there to wait for all the flocks to arrive before removing the stone and watering the animals. Afterward, the stone would be placed back over the mouth of the well. Jacob went over to the shepherds and asked, "Where are you from, my friends?" "We are from Haran," they answered. "Do you know a man there named Laban, the grandson of Nahor?" he asked. "Yes, we do," they replied. "Is he doing well?" Jacob asked. "Yes, he's well," they answered. "Look, here comes his daughter Rachel with the flock now." Jacob said, "Look, it's still broad daylight, too early to round up the animals. Why don't you water the sheep and goats so they can get back out to pasture?" "We can't water the animals until all the flocks have arrived, they replied. Then the shepherds moved. Why did I just, what y'all said? I don't know. Message, there's deeper meaning in that. Then the shepherds moved the stone from the mouth of the well, and we water all the sheep and goats. I don't know what you said. Jacob was still talking with them when Rachel arrived with her father's flock, for she was a shepherd. And because Rachel was his cousin, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and because the sheep and goats belonged to his uncle Laban, Jacob went over to the well and removed the stone from its mouth and watered his uncle's flock. Hmm. Who wasn't it? Who was it? I don't know. They just brought back talking about somebody. Oh, when the servant went to go find Rebecca for him, and she ended up watering the camels, and now it's like Jacob is watering the sheep for Rachel. Okay, let's see. Hold on, y'all. Let me get under the light so I can see. Now I kissed her. Hold on, you don't even know her. Wait a minute. Then Jacob kissed Rachel, and he wept aloud. He explained to Rachel that he was her cousin on her father's side, the son of her aunt Rebecca. So Rachel quickly ran and told her father Laban. As soon as Laban heard that his nephew Jacob had arrived, he ran out to meet he ran out to meet him. He embraced and kissed him and brought him home. When Jacob had told him his story, my goodness, listen, I'm so happy, so great. Jacob must not have been that long winded, because baby, that servant, Oh no, we not. I'm finna say, okay. Okay. I'm just saying. Laban exclaimed, You are really, you really are my own flesh and blood. Jacob marries Leah and Rachel. After Jacob had stayed with Laban for about a month, Laban said to him, you shouldn't work for me without pay just because we are relatives. Tell me how much your wages should be. Now Laban had two daughters. The older daughter was named Leah and the youngest one was Rachel. There was no sparkle in Leah's eyes, but Rachel had a beautiful figure. She was a fine child and a lovely face. Here we go. Since Jacob was in love with Rachel, he told her father, I'll work for you for 7 years if you'll give me Rachel, your younger daughter, as my wife. Agreed, Laban replied. I'd rather give her to you than anyone else. Stay and work with me. So Jacob worked 7 years to pay for Rachel, but his love for her was so strong that it seemed to him but a few days. Finally, the time came for him to marry her. I have fulfilled my agreement, Jacob said to Laban. Now give me my wife so I can sleep with her. So Laban invited everyone in the neighborhood and prepared a wedding feast. But that night, when it was dark, Laban took Leah to Jacob and he slept with her. Here we go again. Here we go again. The swap out. How you don't know? Y'all, how you don't know? How you don't know who you giving the business to? I'm just trying to figure it out. It ain't that much wine in the world, Lord. He didn't took how Jake Spirit Nim ancestor Jacob Nim, sir. How y'all keep getting swindled like this? How do y'all keep on? Are their faces covered up, Lord? Like what is it that y'all don't know who you is getting into your? This is just too much. Where am I at, Lord? I was able to see, and now it done got dark. Okay, I'm back. Laban took Leah to Jacob, and he slept with her. Laban had given Leah a servant, Zilpah, to be her maid. But when Jacob woke up in the morning, it was Leah. What have you done to me? Jacob raged at Laban. I worked 7 years for Rachel. Why have you tricked me? I'm just saying, you got the, you might be getting some karma. It's not our custom here to marry off a younger daughter ahead of the firstborn, Labor replied. But wait until the bridal week is over. Then we'll give you Rachel too, provided you promise to work another 7 years. My gosh, 14 years. So Jacob agreed to work 7 more years. A week after Jacob had married Leah, Laban gave him Rachel too. Laban gave Rachel a servant, Bilhah, to be her maid. So Jacob slept with Rachel too, and he loved her much more than Leah. He then stayed and worked for Laban the additional 7 years. Jacob's many children. When the Lord saw that Leah was unloved, he enabled her to have children, but Rachel could not conceive. So Leah became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She named him Reuben, for she said, The Lord has noticed my misery, and now my husband will love me. Well, OMG, here we go. So she soon became pregnant again and gave birth to another son. She named him Simeon, for she said, The Lord heard that I was unloved and has given me another son. Then she became pregnant a third time and gave birth to another son. He was named Levi. For she said, Surely this time my husband will feel affection for me since I have given him 3 sons. Once Leah became pregnant and gave birth to another son, she named him Judah. For she said, Now I will praise the Lord. And then she stopped having children. 4 children later, he still didn't love her. Ain't that like people trying to keep somebody? Look, that's the end of chapter 29. Somebody trying to keep somebody, and children is not going, having a little children is not going to make you keep a man or make him love you. Ain't that something we see right now? And is you people do you think you're gonna have a baby and that's going child, a man can't, you can't keep a man that don't want to be kept. Okay, that's the first thing. Like, ain't having children for somebody is not gonna make him stay with you. If he don't love you, he just don't love you. And this the thing now. Jacob had to get some karma. You had to get a little get back because see, you was deceitful in the first place. So what now you had 14 years that you had to wait to get the love to have. You had to give somebody, you had to be of service to somebody else for 14 years before you were able to have the person that you actually wanted to love. And now that was like paying debt. Thank y'all. That was like paying debt. You had to pay that back. It took you 14 years. That's just like us, child. You do something wrong or do something deceitful. It took him 14 years to pay off that debt. And then he still wasn't done. Wonder did he get Jacob drunk to not notice it was right? Child, who knows? Who knows? I don't know how these folks be getting in these people bed and they don't know who's who. I have no no idea how you just don't know who you giving the business to. But anyway, that's not the probably that probably what they say. I was drunk. How you was drunk? Y'all must not have. Well, I know they had candlelight, huh? It might have been dark. Child, listen, everybody just liars and deceivers over there. I heard something. Where did I hear somebody say, child, don't you come over here in the Bible thinking this, like trying to use this for religiosity. You better not, because baby, y'all ain't teaching this part of the religionals. Like, y'all ain't doing that. You ain't trying to teach that part, child. Did you tell everybody we like you? All right, I want to hear that. But there's some very good lessons in this. Hold on, I can't see. From what we read, one didn't feel one didn't feel nothing. Child, listen, I don't know. But these little people them is just be doing too much over here in the word. Like it just be a lot going on. He didn't had to leave. Now it took him, oh y'all, 7 year cycles. 7 year cycles. He also got his karma because the woman he loved must couldn't bear him a child, right? So this the thing. It's like, man, this we talked about this yesterday. Was it worth it? Now you ended up getting, of course, you ended up getting what you wanted, but look what you had to go through in order to finally get what it is that you wanted. And then we have another barren woman, right? You got her, but now she can't have no children. And then he probably didn't feel some type of way. He probably felt some type of way about Leah children because he wanted the children to be by Rachel. See what I'm saying? It's like I'm telling y'all, we be on repeat. It's like principles. It's principles. It's things that just if God keep coming in making a covenant, like they keep doing wrong, they keep being deceitful. It shows you how you got look when you do wrong, you gonna have to pay the consequences. Like you just are. You have got to pay the consequences. You were deceitful. And so you had to pay back. That was 2 7 year cycles that it took. Look, I just saw a rainbow when I looked up. Thank you, Lord. 2 7 year cycles that it took. True story, y'all. I was sitting here and I don't know what I was doing, but I looked up and it was a rainbow in the sky. Ain't a drop of cloud in the sky. And you could still see a little piece of rainbow up there. Anyway, I'm back. But it's like, child, you had to work off 2 little 7 year cycles. Like, was it worth it? I mean, everything happened exactly the way it was supposed to. We know this, but it's just like, again, like, so this is the thing. Now, I want to point this out. So, one of like something I was talking to Padre God about today is like looking at the Bible and saying, where, how do I say that? Where are you at in these stories? Right. That's something as we've been reading through Genesis and just different parts of Genesis, I keep looking at it and I keep saying, where am I at in the stories? Like, what part of my life can relate to this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I really be looking like, what part of my life can relate to this? And I think it's like different things at different places. Um, but it's like, what part of your life? Some of us, like, like I feel like I'm at the end of a 7 year cycle, right? I'm at the end of 7 years. I'm at the end of um completing out some karma. And that's the thing. When did I start? Yeah, 7 years. I made a mistake. I made mistakes 7 years ago. I hope it ain't no rolling year, Daddy. We don't want to be on no rolling year. Look, I don't want them 70 like I'm talking about. Y'all know how, I don't know if y'all know. Well, y'all should if you like have a job and like you have a rolling year where when you go through a new month, then 1 month drop off. Daddy, please just forgive us all at one time because we can't go through. I don't know how long ago I started doing right. I still be messing up, so don't not as much as I used to. Thank you, Lord. But child, listen, don't give me no another 7 years because these 7 years been rough. These some years been rough. So like a lot of us, it's like the consequences, right? So for I made mistakes 7 years ago, and I had to go through 7 years of it was rough. It was rough. And these last little 7 years. And so, you kind of look at it like, man, where am I at in regard, and so it's almost like also knowing because it's a pattern, right? We talking about repeat. All of this stuff just keeps repeating over and over and over. We're gonna keep seeing the same thing over and over and over. And so it's like the same stuff we always talking about, y'all. It's like, listen, when you start doing right, you can end a cycle. When you start living right, you can end a cycle. When you start, or when you accept that you're doing wrong, you can end a cycle. So you have to, I feel like sometimes we have to look, well, not sometimes, all the time, child, we got to look and be like, okay, maybe you know what I'm saying? Like this is the period of life that I'm in. Let me see. Y'all know I can't see. Child, hold on. I'm trying not to be like Lot and find excuses, keep stuff that's not good for me. Child, I'm trying to be like all of them and not do stuff that's good, not keep stuff, not do stuff, not nothing, child, period, because all of them have a different something that they were holding on to. Lot, yeah, he had gotten used to the world. He had gotten used. I think it feels like him being worldly, if that makes sense. Like he become you accustomed to having the riches, the wealth, having a certain lifestyle, right? But it was worldly because he was over there in the world where with Sodom and Gomorrah, like they was deceitful, they was wicked over there. And so, but he had gotten used to it to where he didn't want to give up his comforts in order to do right. So I feel like one of his punishments for that was he ended up losing his wife. Right now, it wasn't his fault that she looked back. It wasn't his fault that she looked back. It was her fault. But at the same time, it's like that was one of his punishments. You wanted to stay in the world, and that's the thing. I feel like Patrick God is in a season where um he ain't even just letting us do that. It's like you got to pick a side, child. You has got to pick a side. And that's why he was so hesitant, because it's like, yeah, you was gonna have to live a different life. That's why people don't want to give up things that are like worldly things. I was asking the Lord, I had to tap in and just make sure, because I redid my vision board. I think we talked about that. I redid my vision board. And I was like, it was funny because the stuff that was on my vision board before with the last one I did is so different. This one is so different from that one. And I'm not going to say it doesn't have worldly things on it. I'm not going to say that, because who doesn't want a nice house or who doesn't want a nice car? But I also know that my vision board now contains stuff like in the middle of my vision board is the word God. Like everything else that is around, that is on my vision board, it literally is centered. Like God is in the center of my vision board. And that was never like, that's never what I had. Every story related to me at some point in my life. I feel like mine too. And I feel like it still is. Um, so I mean I can understand Lot, you know what I'm saying, but I also understand that when I was like that God humbled me, and he ended up removing everything, although he removed everything, and he was like, no, you gonna have humble, now you gonna have humble beginnings, you ain't gonna have none of the worldly stuff, now what you gonna do, you know what I'm saying? And so I think that that's what we're at, but so far I would say I am more like Eve. mm, I definitely resonate with that. Definitely. I want to say, I'll say this. My goal is always to strive to be like Eve. Divine feminine, goddess, whatever you want to call yourself, that is always my goal, is to be like Eve. I don't, regardless of, I know she made her mistakes. I feel like that's always my goal, is to be like Eve. Um Everybody else, yeah, that's cool. But I feel like that's ultimately my goal. I want my husband to be like Adam. When God decides to send me a husband, I want him to be like Adam. So that we are not, and we need to build the kingdom, if that makes sense. That's the type of time I'm on. And so I completely agree with you on that. Like, that's where I'm at. It's like, yeah, everybody else, y'all cool and everything, but I want to be like Eve, the mother of, that's who I strive to be like. Irregardless of her mistakes, we all make those clearly. That's my goal, is to be like Eve with a husband who is like Adam. And that's it. That's it. So I'm with you on that. I am with you on that, child. I think if everybody strive to do that, that would be, I mean, and I, yes, Lord. Yeah, come on, Lord. Child, can you imagine how the kingdom would be? Whether you, I don't care whether, I don't care, I'm not into what you used, what you like, or what you attracted to. I don't care nothing about that. I just want everybody to have whatever, whichever energy you resonate with. I just want you to have what you want. Like, have that and then build the kingdom. Have that and then build the kingdom. And that's it. And I think if we can, and I feel like that's the goal, even though I've never, and I can honestly say, like, I never really thought about it that way. So thank you for that. Like, I can be on, I never really thought about it until just now, having, like, thinking, it's like, oh, we look at different people in the Bible, and I've even heard people say, like, being like Sarah, or being, no, no, I think you're right. I want to be like Eve. Take me all the way to the beginning, sin or no sin. Take me all the way to the beginning where it was true abundance. The king, child, we have it now. I'm claiming it for Jesus, right? I am claiming it for the Lord. We have it now. That the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It is now. So we already have it. That's how we create abundance in our lives, because we decree and declare that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It is now. I read this book called Woman Evolved, and it made me fall. Who did I hear that from? That sounds like Sarah Jakes Roberts. That's who that sounds like. Shout out Sarah Jakes Roberts. She's an amazing pastor. She's an amazing pastor. When I was in Dallas, y'all, I was so excited about going to church. When I was going to the Potter's house back then, because, man, she is an amazing pastor. I enjoy when she preaches so much. She's amazing. And at one point, because I was like, oh, I had it on my calendar to try to go to Woman Evolved. I had it on my calendar to go to Woman Evolve. I did when she had it back in September. I had it on my calendar to go, but of course I wasn't able. I was still in Dallas at the time, but I wasn't able to go. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, shout out Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts. So yes, absolutely amazing. Um, Never thought about that. I'm gonna have to read that book. I'm gonna have to read it. So yeah, child. Definitely, definitely. I never thought about it that way. So I'm gonna have to tap into it. I'm gonna have to read it and see. That'll be good reading, child. Good reading. Thank you. I'm gonna have to let me write it down so I don't forget. And I'll have to see if I can get it on I'm gonna have to look, child. Okay. Yes, I'm gonna have to. I didn't know it was a book though, so I'm gonna have to check it out. I wanted to, but the way my funds worked, I couldn't. Child, me too. Me too. I was out there homeless, living by the lake in Dallas. I was not able to go, but I had it on my calendar. Like, it was one of my goals. So hopefully, you know what I'm saying, we gonna manifest it, right? We gonna speak it into existence. Like, Daddy, we going next year. That's it. Or this year, we going. We claiming it already for 2020, 2024. We going. So let's just say it and speak those things that are not as if they are. Okay. Because yeah, I wanted to go too, but the way them funds was set up, I was not able to go either. But that's okay. That was last year, and this year is going to be a completely different thing. And so we're manifesting those tickets, period. We are speaking those things that are not as if they are. So we're already there. Let's just put our face in the place already. We is in that thing. Um, That's it, y'all. That's it. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna see about reading that book. That's it, y'all. That's all I got. I hope this was helpful for y'all. Like I said, Patrick God got me doing something different, something new. So I'm not on for this morning's message. I'm still recording like 6 messages a day, so there are still messages available. I kid y'all not, like it was such a change in the energy for me to be able to record the messages this morning, get up and exercise. I was able to work on the clarity cards and the tarot deck, and like it was just a shift. So some of you might be changing your schedule. Yes, Lord, we is in that place. We is in that thing. You might be changing your schedule up a little bit. So yeah, that's it. Changing your schedule up and see how you feel about it. Like I feel very productive. I feel like I got a lot accomplished today. Like it was a lot, y'all, and I really enjoyed it, and I love this morning's message. But sometimes, and it's the thing, and I'll always tell y'all I'm honest, right? Like when God is calling you to pivot and to shift into something new, you got to shift into something new. And I was like, because the first thing I thought about, I was like, well, Daddy, you really want me to start? He was like, well, you could do whichever one you want because the message is going to be the same. But he was like, but if you want to try a new experience, he said, well, try a new experience and see what you want to do, how you want, see if you like doing it this way better. And I was just like, well, you know what, Lord, I was like, I'm gonna just try it and see. And as much as I love this morning's message, I love even more, like I just gonna try a new schedule and just see. So just keep that in mind, y'all. I'm gonna see how I feel about this week. I'm always experimenting. I can't say that I won't go back to doing this morning's message, but we gonna see what happens. And then of course I'm live on here at 5 p.m. every week anyway, or every weekday. And I say, well, maybe my live experience just needs to be a word in the wilderness. Maybe that's the pivot that God is asking me to make. And just tapping into some new energy, right? Tapping into some new energy, into something new, and putting energy behind something else. And I know for sure that, and I think I told y'all this, like God, He was like, no. And I think that's also a test for me. I sent a message because I was like, it's okay. Then I think I saw it, but child, he did. I think I saw it, but I've been busy today. Like I real deal been busy. So I probably hadn't even looked at it yet. If you emailed it to me, I hadn't even looked at emails today. Like I've been working. Like I rested for a bit, and then he was like, let's work. And I was like, and even when, and kid y'all not, like I can't make it up, right? When God was like, okay, because he told me and I journaled it, because I said to myself, I was like, I have a hard time just relaxing. And I do. I have a hard time just relaxing. Because even though God was like, rest, I was still just kind of sitting here. It's the Gemini energy in me. I was still sitting here like, so I started just like I was doing some oracle cards, right? I was doing oracle cards, and finally he was like, just get up and do something, because I was getting on his nervous system. He was like, just get up, because I couldn't just sit there. I was like, Dad, I'm supposed to be doing something. I don't feel productive. Like I was like, something wrong. And so he was like, just get up. But he was like, no, don't worry about going live this morning. And he knows how I feel about this morning's message. That was like my first, like, not my first live experience, but that's been like my baby, my creation. Yeah. And so I was like, man, so I rested for a bit, and then I got up and I was like, okay, I'm ready. And I got myself together, and then I just felt so much better. Um, and then I recorded 6 messages, and then so before I started recording, I was working on clarity cards, and just just went through the day, and then I was like, okay, it's time for Bible study. So just because of us losing the light, of course, once Padre God grants me a place to stay, I'm not going to have to worry about it. But, insofar as now, it really doesn't matter as long as I don't have my contact lenses in, which I'm not going to be wearing because I ain't got no contact lens solution. And so I'm going to have to be like, what y'all said? Because I ain't got no contact lens solution. But anyway, but I was just like, okay, this was a pretty dope day. And then,
even though I start my day with the Lord and I end my day with the Lord. So I receive that. Okay. Child, look, what? That's the Leo energy. We have to be busy. I'm talking about what? Y'all, I can't just sit still. Look, my nose started itching. I just can't, I just don't have still in my energy. And I said, that's why I said this to myself today. I was like, man, I was like, I can't just sit here. I was like, it's daytime. Like I'm supposed to be doing stuff. And when the sun come up, it's like I'm up. I'm up. So I'm like, baby, we got to get some work done. Like this is not working out. Like I could not just be sitting here. So anyway, that's what happened, y'all. That's what happened. That's it. That's it. That's all I got. I had to get to moving. I had to get to moving around. And I started, like, I felt more productive. I felt like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, okay. And I got a lot done today. And so I'm grateful for that. I still, ultimately, my thing is about getting the messages out that people need to receive. And I was able to do that. And so as long as I'm doing that, as long as I'm getting Bible study done, like Padre God has asked me to do, because I was going to, true story, y'all, I was going to change the time. And I was like, maybe I just need to shift it a little bit and just see how I feel about it. And so I was like, well, let's just leave it. I had Leo energy. Very good, very good. We relax and feel like we bored and not doing nothing, period. And that showed how I felt, child. And I was like, well, anybody who, you know what I'm saying, is I was like, I said, and that's one of the things that God asked me. He was just like, why do you want to keep going live in the mornings? And because y'all, I'm just be honest, like I'm not a huge morning person. And so I was like, man, me starting reading, recording at around noon, I was like, that's a great time because the sun is at its highest point, its highest peak. And I was like, yeah, this feels like natural energy. I'm like, okay, I'm flowing. And so it was just like I can knock messages out like that. So we gotta work with the energy. Sometimes we'll try to force something. It's easier for me to go live in the daytime now because I'm in me being in the car, but I just feel like it's just easier. And again, I just feel like God is shifting me into something else. As soon as my funds get right, I'm on those next set of cards. I love my cards. I can't wait to. Oh, thank you, honey Wani. Thank you, dearest one. Thank you so much for your support. I am truly grateful. I tell y'all what, um, I really just be so in awe of the Lord because it's not anything I'm doing. It's literally just every time I pick up this deck, I don't have I don't have all of my cards. You know what I'm saying? I only have 2 decks of my cards. So no worries. I understand. We have to prioritize, right? And so I don't even have all of my oracle cards. I told the Lord, I literally told God today, I said, Lord, I was like, I got 6 oracle decks. I said, I sure would like all to have all 6 of them. And I thanked him in advance. I was like, thank you in advance for the resources so that I can have my own clarity decks because I don't have them. Um, and I just left it alone. So, you know what I'm saying? When it's time for you to have them, you will. They're not going anywhere. That's the great thing. And then he just keeps having me crank out more. And I'm just like, man, it's just, and they're not repeats either. And that's the other crazy thing. And I be so in awe of the Lord because when he starts just like channeling through me, like, okay, put this, do this, is this word, put this, put this. I just be like, all I can do is type. I feel like I just be entering stuff in. And so it's like they're not going anywhere. It's like he keeps on, and even today he was like, okay, it's time for the tarot deck. Okay, let's start this one. So the clarity is real. Y'all can send your affirmations in for that as well. If you would like to add an affirmation, it's a deck like this one. It's a deck like message. So it's a regular oracle deck. It's nothing like nothing. It's gonna have scriptures in it. It's gonna be like this one, but it has different everything. So just you can still submit if you have an affirmation or a scripture that you would like to submit and have added into the deck, then send it to me. And you can send it to jointhecommunitea@gmail.com. And of course, I will added to, this is volume 7. Oh my gosh, y'all, this is volume 7, so you can definitely send it and I will include it, and I'll include your name so that we know where it came from. Okay, so thank you so much. Y'all know, of course, and this the thing, like I'm trying to give as many discounts as I can while of course still being able to afford to have them printed. And then Jamila, I forgot to tell you this, and I was intending on sending it, but I forgot. I was able to just add a box. Right now, it's just like a plain box, but I'm adding a box. I told you, I was like, let me go in here and see what their options are. So I'm trying to do, it's like different packaging that you can do. These were the first ones that I sent out for those of you who have purchased. They were my beginning ones. You know what I'm saying? So even the ones I was just like, okay, so I was able to see the upgrades, the improvements that I need to make. Thank you so much for your feedback as well. Hi, Nisa Booski Wooski. Um, so I was able to, you know what I'm saying, and make any improvements that I needed to make as well. Nisa, of course, also purchased 2 of the decks. Make sure you leave a review. Even the packaging, because the packaging was not the best, and I know that. And so I've updated that.
Included in the decks moving forward. So I'm grateful for that. Um, they were the first ones, so I'm just like, okay, Lord. So there's always room for improvement.
Also, it's just like moving forward. Those first ones, including these ones that I have, where I was like, okay, I'm rocking with them though. I didn't have any problems like with the print, or it was more so just no, like better packaging. I know I wanted to do that, doing I now have a card in them that gives you instructions, and I'll have to send that to you, Jamila. I don't know. I'll send it to you when I respond to your email. Thank you so much, by the way, for checking. I hadn't seen the email, but thank you for reaching out this morning. Yeah, everything was good. I was just at work. So I did add an instruction card on there, so I'll send that as well. Well, I want them to come in a box. And ultimately the goal is to, and I don't know what the pricing is, but ultimately, you know, as I'm able to, I'll be able to make the box, the packaging a little fancier, the box that they come in a little fancier. But for right now, I'm just focused on getting them out there whenever someone orders them. Um, it's crazy because I'm so grateful that I was able to find the company and work with the company that's able to print them. So yeah, make sure like you go, even if you don't purchase them now, if you put them in the cart, you'll receive another an email that's gonna give you another code to take an additional amount off. Like yeah, like it's just a matter of getting them out there, and then just daily inspiration and guidance. I'm excited about them. I just can't, even with Padre God. Like, man, I just can't believe it. Every time I see all of them together, I'm just like, what? And now we got 7 and 8 coming as well. So getting ready to have the tarot deck that's going to be able to come out with them as well. So that'll probably be, it'll be finished. That one is the easy one, if I'm honest. Like the tarot deck is the easy one. I think that's why God made it number 8 instead, because it's like, tarot deck, the Queen of Wands is the Queen of Wands, no matter what deck you pull, no matter what deck you get, the Queen of Wands is the Queen of Wands. I chose, at Big Leo Energy, because that's the Leo card. I'm so excited. I hope you love them. Y'all, I'm like, so I can't, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Y'all, I probably have about 100, maybe, if not more. I probably have about 100 tarot decks and oracle decks back here in my car, right? Now that, even though that I switch up, it's like this thing where I'm using my own product. Y'all, it's just the most amazing thing to be picking up something. It's just like, oh my God, like, Lord, we created this. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, it is, and it's me using the, oh come on, Lord. It makes me want to cry, y'all, because it's just like, man, Lord, I can't believe. I was like, oh my gosh, every time. And I use them all the time in my readings, because this is the same thing that I'm doing when I'm using other people's, and it's such a blessing for me to be able to use, like, man, I'm using my own, like, what? That's so dope. So anyway, look, it came the day before New Year's, but God had a plan. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm so happy and so grateful. Um, man, y'all, I did my best to get them out as soon as I could. Um, yeah, man, let me just tell y'all. Y'all know this already. When you trying to survive, and the thing is, it's like it was heavy on me. I was like, Lord, because the thing is, and I can say this now. Jamila got yours before Nisa, because I just said, you know what? I'm gonna just send these out, and I had no idea when I ordered yours. I hadn't even received mine yet, and I was like, Lord, I don't even know what these gonna look like, but I don't want people to be waiting on their stuff. So I had no clue what they look like when I sent them out. And I was so scared because I was like, what if they look crazy? What if the print is wrong? And I was so nervous because I didn't even know what they looked like. And I sent you yours anyway. And I was just like, Lord, please just let them be okay. I had to pray about it. I had to pray about it. So check your email. If they're in your cart, then you should be receiving an email. Because I think I just did that the other day, where you'll get an additional, like, you'll get a code. But I was like, Daddy, please don't let these cars look a mess, because I sent yours before I knew what they looked like. And I was just like, all I could do was pray. And I was like, they going to be all right. They going to be good. They going to be all right. And so it seemed like no sooner than that happened, I was like, I had moved, I had traveled. And then all of a sudden, my daughter was like, "Hey, Mama, your package is here." And I was like, what? And I had just left San Diego, and then I had to go back to San Diego, and I was like, okay. So then I ended up getting mine, and I saw them, and I was like, thank you, Lord. I was so excited because I was like, oh my gosh. So you weren't getting anything that was just like crap, you know? And so I was so excited because when I sent them, I had no idea what they even looked like. I had no clue at all. So I'm grateful that they looked okay, because I was like, man, these gonna look a mess. I didn't send her these. And so then after that, of course, I was able to send everybody else's out. So yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. I was trying to wait on mine to come before I sent anybody else's out. So, and one, I was just like, man, I'm just send them, and it just is what it is. And I was like, if they look terrible, I'm gonna just have to refund the money, and that just be what it is. And it was just a fiasco, but it worked out. So I'm grateful. So I'm grateful. So anyway, that definitely happened, but it worked out for the best. It did. Child, thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all support. Thank you so much. Like I said, I don't have the new ones either, but I love them just as much. I'm not changing up the format very much. I'm not changing up the way they look, because one thing that I know is because I'm using them, um they work in just the way that I want them to, y'all, just the way I want them to. It's forcing you. And this is the thing, because I was talking to God about it today. I was like, well, Daddy, you think we should switch it up? And he said, no. And he was like, because the thing about it is, there are some Oracle cards, and I have plenty of them, of course. Um, it's like, the point is not for me to think for you. The point is for you to pick up these cards and say, okay, this card says pay attention, and you read what's on here, and then you see what you think. And so he doesn't, because it's like some of the oracle cards, it can give you all the information, but that's not the point. The point is intuitive development, so that you look at this and you see change, growth, cycles, new beginnings, obstacles, completion, the pictures, like everything on the card. Of course, you could be looking at everything, and to see what you think, what you feel, what comes to you. That's intuitive development. So That was God, my 2024 gift. Oh, thank you, honey one. Hello, dearest one. So yeah, so the point is not to, you know what I'm saying? I just asked him that today, and I was like, Daddy, you don't think we should switch up the format? And he said no. He said, because the point is not for me to think for you, the point is for you to think for yourself when you look at the card. And I said, okay, so I left the same way. Right, because everything is not going to resonate. If you ask yourself a question and you're just like, because a lot of times it's just like, okay, what do I need to know today? And y'all see, I always have the deck in my hand. And so it becomes infused with your energy. You start learning how to communicate with your higher self, with your intuition. And I always have cards because this is what I do all day. So I can be sitting here and so I see something or hear something, and all of a sudden, message just like that, a card will fall out. And then I'll be like, Lord, what fell out? Right? Look, argue, I said what I said. This is so all of this one card, this says get a little gangster. It has God on the hat, right? So God, I said what I said. No, I didn't want you to change up the way the format. I didn't want you to change up the way that no, this is the way I want you to leave it. So I said, okay. So it's pretty much the same concept, but it'll be different words, message. That'll trigger different things. So just saying, I'm excited. God will say go and I will say how fast, period. Look, come on, let it go. So yeah, that's it, y'all. So thank y'all again for your support. I'm super excited. That's what I'll be doing tomorrow. So it's the beginning of the week, and I'm already like, okay, Lord, come on, prosperity, clarity. Ah. Of course, that's the deck. Dreams to reality, telling you the way I love the Lord. Anyway, that's it, y'all. I love y'all in real life. Y'all hydrate your soul and things, drink your water, say your gratitude. Have a fantastic and amazing evening in purpose and on purpose. I'm finna try to eat some dinner because child, I be working and I don't even be and ate no food the whole day, Lord. I be in a zone. I really do. I will see y'all tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for a word in the wilderness. Y'all make sure y'all hit like on the video, like, share, comment, subscribe, and y'all check out if any of the videos resonate in your energy. Make sure y'all check out the ones I recorded today. I will see y'all tomorrow for a word in the wilderness. Love y'all. Bye, y'all. Love you. Good night, fam.